Hello and welcome to the Graduate Network Research Community Feedback Dashboard. We have created 4 brief training modules to introduce the dashboard and demonstrate some ways you might use this tool for your efforts with comebackers. We have been developing and refining this tool over the past year in response to your interest and request for a more robust use of the data in your community, especially for feedback on your efforts to help participants enroll and complete their education goals, as reflected in the data from the National Student Clearinghouse. In this first module, we will concentrate on a basic introduction, provide an overview of its layout, and describe how you might use the dashboard in your work. Let's get started. When you first open the dashboard, this is the layout you should see. If you have difficulty with accessing the dashboard, please contact our research team and we will help you. You can see at first glance there are multiple data points for you to explore. Let's take a look. The heart of the dashboard is the program feedback section, which shows the progress towards completion of education goals for your participants. This section can be considered the success model for your program participants and has 2 parts that need to be distinguished from one another. The top section, which we have labeled the program population, shows education progress for the individuals who have made some initial contact with your initiative. The boxes show the number of individuals and, in the case of enrollment and graduation, percentages which are based on the numbers in previous boxes. The bottom section breaks down the program population into 2 groups, engaged and non-engaged. This section shows the progress of these 2 groups from inquiry to enrollment and finally graduation. A comebacker is part of the engagement group if someone in your organization has indicated an interaction with the comebacker beyond their initial inquiry. The non-engaged group consists of comebackers who did not meaningfully engage with the navigator after filling out the inquiry form. As in the top row, numbers and percentages are presented to gauge the success of your program participants. We will look more closely at the success model in the second video training module. The bottom half of the dashboard is the participant profile. All data in this section represent the program population shown in the top row of the dashboard, rather than the program participation row. On the left, you can view the demographic data including gender, race, annual family income, employment status, and participant age. All data in this area are portrayed in percentages. On the right side of this section, you can see the education experience profile of your participants. Each table shows numbers of participants. These tables include the top 5 majors, the top 5 colleges in which your participants were enrolled, the top 5 colleges in which your participants earned a credential, and the type of degree awarded to your participants. We will be exploring this section in more detail in the 3rd module of this training video. The last feature of the dashboard is the filters you can use to generate more detailed analysis of the data. Each of these filters are broken down into the same categories as those shown in their associated tables in the participant profile section. We will be demonstrating how to use these filters in our 4th training module. There are a variety of purposes this feedback tool can serve. These include 3 fundamental goals. Success model analysis involves the exploration of progress your participants are making as they work toward their education goals. Planning your interventions with participants is another critical insight you can gain by exploring the relative success of various groups you serve. These analyses are rounded out by the reporting you can generate from the dashboard that can be shared with community leaders and your program stakeholders. The next module points out some of the details of the success model, which is the centerpiece of the dashboard. Welcome to our 2nd module on making the best use of our feedback dashboard tool. In this module, we will be looking a little deeper into how you can analyze the success of your program participants and use the basic insights from this work for more detailed consideration. Since its inception, the Graduate Network has relied on a success model to help comebackers take action on their education dreams. This model consists of 4 milestones that build on one another. The first milestone, inquiry, is the action a comebacker takes to reach out to your organization. It's a bold personal move that translates a person's thinking into behavior and represents a significant advancement toward achieving educational success. The next critical stage occurs when a person enters into an interaction with someone from your organization. Now the comebacker has moved to take action that is relational, and which, in part, involves your voice and guidance as a professional becoming involved in realizing their education dreams. After becoming engaged, the comebacker's next significant step is to enroll in a learning experience. Now they have taken a public stance, putting their resources and plans to the test, opening themselves up to being assessed and, hopefully, succeeding. This is the most vulnerable stage and the one that requires the greatest effort. The last stage, occupying the role of alumnus, transforms the comebacker into a new life stage in which they can take advantage of the benefits their education achievements provides for them. To be sure, there is no single path through all of these stages, but overall success for your participants involves meaningful progress in some manner through all of them. You can monitor the success of your program's interventions in the number of participants that move from one stage to the next. Let's look at the data that provides the details for this analysis. As we mentioned in the first module, analysis of your participants' progress involves the data contained in the program feedback section. We also pointed out that the section contains 3 rows of data that need to be distinguished from one another. The top row containing data from the program population, showing education progress for all individuals who have made some initial contact with your initiative. And the bottom 2 rows, which breaks the full group into subsections, engaged and non-engaged, and detailing the progress of 2 subsections of the first group. As we mentioned in the previous module, the engaged group consists of comebackers who have met with the neutral navigator and moved out of the inquiry phase, and the non-engaged group are those who have not met with the navigator and are still considered in the inquiry phase. In this example, you can see that 2,131 individuals have made an initial contact with the organization. Of these initial contacts, 731 individuals, or 34% of all those who have made initial inquiry, were enrolled in post-secondary coursework. 30% of those enrolled, that is 221 individuals, have graduated with a post-secondary credential. Looking at the program participation section, we can compare outcomes between the engaged and non-engaged group. First, we see that 621 individuals, 29% of the program population, have moved into the engaged group, leaving 1,510 individuals, 71% of the program population, into the non-engaged group. Going on to compare outcomes, we see that 65% of the engaged group went on to enroll in a post-secondary program, while only 22% of the non-engaged group moved on to enrollment. Continuing to look at comebacker progress, we see that 41% of the engaged group that enrolled went on to graduate, while only 17% of the non-engaged group that enrolled earned their degree or certificate. Consideration of the numbers and conversion rate progress for each of these rows allows meaningful analysis for several questions you can ask. Where are we having the greatest impact in our participant progress? Do these numbers and conversion rates meet or exceed our criteria for success with our participants? If so, what is responsible for our success? If not, what can we do to facilitate progress in the areas needing more attention? We also encourage you to discuss your analysis with the TGN research team. We can look into other research communities for experience and success in areas that might benefit your efforts. In our next module, we will take a look at the demographic data for your community of participants. In our third module, we will be looking more deeply into the potential insights you can gain by considering the participant populations you serve. Every day we confront inequity in education. Depending on gender, race, ethnicity, age, or any combination, you help participants navigate the challenges and struggles they encounter. In our first module, we highlighted the participant profile section of the feedback tool. This is a useful summary of the participants you've served. Let's take a closer look. The gender table indicates how participants responded when asked to enter their gender. Note that the table is color-coded, so the lower percentages are indicated by the varying shades of orange, while higher percentages are shown in varying shades of blue. More extreme percentages appear to be more intense colors. Similar tables are provided for race, annual family income, and participants' employment status. The distribution of age is shown on the bottom of the section, with each bar covering a span of 5 years. Note that each table has a no response row, which is included to encourage data completeness. Using these tables, you can see what critical areas are missing data and what percentage of the total population is missing that particular data point. The learning profile on the right of this section provides information on the learning goals and experiences of your participants, showing their most popular majors, the top colleges in which they are enrolled, the top colleges from which they graduate, and the type of degree they achieve. Note that it is possible for an individual to earn more than one credential, for example, an associate degree and a bachelor's degree. All learning profile information is provided in number of participants rather than percentages. We will explore how you can conduct more detailed analysis of the different groups of participants in the next module. In the previous modules, we have taken a brief survey of the layout of the feedback tool, considered the analysis of participant progress, and explored briefly the characteristics and profile of your participants. In this final module, we want to introduce you to some of the more detailed ways you can analyze and interpret the information contained in the dashboard. Near the top of the dashboard, you can see 4 entries with drop-down fields, including gender, race, employment status, and engagement. These entries are known as filters because you can drill down on specific categories with each heading to filter out unwanted categories and gain more detailed insight into the profile of a particular group and their participation progress. Please note that filters become increasingly more valuable to demonstrate your program's impact as you work to reduce data missingness in your comeback tracker. As your program continues to grow and evolve, you may identify a need to focus on improving the completion of certain data fields to improve the overall quality of your data. In an upcoming example, we filter the data by race, so you may set a goal to improve the completion of the race field in your comeback tracker and reduce data missingness in that area. Let's look more closely at how filters work. For this example, let's imagine you want to explore the Hispanic participants you serve. We know that Hispanic participants are included in the overall information contained in the dashboard, but we want to focus in specifically on this segment. To do so, we first need to click the drop-down field button in the selected filter, which in this case is race. The drop-down list that appears contains all the race categories as they appear for participants who have completed the inquiry form. In this example, we want to select only those participants who have indicated they are of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. First, we need to click on the checked box for the category labeled All, so that it is unchecked. This action filters out all responses, so consequently, no data appear in the dashboard. Now click on the empty box in front of the category labeled Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. Once you select this box, the entire dashboard populates with data only from the group selected. In this case, participants indicating Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. Move your cursor to a white area of the dashboard and click, so that the drop-down box disappears and you can view the entire dashboard. We can now analyze the participation progress for this selected group and have a detailed participant profile of Hispanic participants' demographic information and a summary of their education and learning goals and experiences. The final filter can be found as part of the Program Participation section. This filter, labeled Create a Date Cohort, allows you to view a group of comebackers based on when they registered with your program. The filter groups participants by the registration date or the date they completed the inquiry form, and allows you to track progress of these cohorts. For example, selecting January 17 through June 17 and July 17 through December 17 will show you the data for a cohort of comebackers who started their work with the Navigator in 2017. Please note that outcomes such as enrollment and graduation did not necessarily occur within that same time frame of the selected cohort. Once your program has several years of data, the cohort feature is a useful way to see the progress of individuals over time. You can use this feature to gauge the amount of time it takes for individuals to move from one stage to another. For example, comparing inquiry to enrollment conversion numbers between a 2017 cohort and a 2018 cohort can help give you a sense of the average time it takes for a comebacker to move from inquiry to enrollment. You can print a PDF of the analysis by selecting the download button at the bottom of the dashboard. Select PDF and a pop-up box appears. Keep all formatting elements as they appear and click on the download button. Once the file has been generated, you will get a new pop-up box that tells you the file is ready to download. Click the download button. PDF of the dashboard with the filtered category will then be placed in your download folder. You can conduct detailed analyses with the other filters in the dashboard using the techniques just described. Additionally, don't hesitate to contact our research team if you want to discuss your specific analysis needs and goals. Thank you for using the Research Community Feedback tool. We will continually improve and upgrade the tool based on your input and our evolving research efforts.